Hello, I'm Bill Sofel, and Veterans Day 2020 I'd like to present to you, since that's the key topic for this month of November. Here we have the poster that you may be seeing around town regarding veterans. Veterans Day is Wednesday, November 11th, 2020. The theme for the 2020 Veterans Day poster is Vision, Veterans in Focus. Well, here I'll talk more about that later. Typically, this federal holiday is observed on November 11th every year. It was formerly called Armistice Day, and I'll explain why. And Veterans Day is known in other countries as Remembrance Day. So many countries do have something very similar at different times for their country. But Veterans Day was established in November 1919 by President Woodrow Wilson. He proclaimed November 11th as Armistice Day. World War I fighting stopped on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month, which is November. And then in 1938, Armistice Day, as it was called, became a national holiday, honoring veterans of World War I. So it became additional prominence by being called a national holiday. In 1954, Armistice Day was renamed Veterans Day to honor American veterans of all wars, World War I, World War II, the Korean War, Vietnam War, war in Iraq, war in Afghanistan, and we hope not future wars, but you never know. But those are the ones that are considered included. Now, we should probably ask, who are the veterans, and what branches of the service are they you might know about, which includes for both men and women of service. We have the Air Force and Air Force Reserve, the Air National Guard, the Army Reserve, the Army National Guard, the Coast Guard and Coast Guard Reserve, the Marine Corps and Marine Corps Reserve, Navy and Navy Reserve, and Space Force, which was newly formed in the last 2 years, regarding outer space, you might say, around the Earth, satellite and so on. You'll note too that each of the major armed services, like Air Force or Army, have their reserve branch or reserve unit. So once you complete your active duty, you can go into the reserve to serve, the people would attend a monthly meeting, and then annual training would be held for that person too as well. And we have what we call the National Guard, which is usually each state has their own National Guard, they have military training, but they also serve in case of disaster or other needs, such as flooding or the pandemic, which we've gone through. They've helped out with COVID administration, hospitals, and so on. So you may have seen them identified with that. These are called the National Guard units. And so that's the main forces that our men and women serve in the military service. Now, we mentioned earlier, vision, veterans in focus. Who are the veterans? Well, looking back at the centuries of veteran service and sacrifice, and what we have learned from the past, we must always maintain the vision for the future of veterans. Putting the veteran at the center, on Veterans Day, we continue to honor all who have served, while focusing on the needs of next generation of veterans. Veterans contribute to the American society in many ways, not just during their time in active duty. Throughout our history, military service members have put on their uniforms to protect the values and liberties that this nation was built on. But that doesn't stop once the uniform comes off and their time in active duty is ended. Veterans take the lessons they have learned and experiences they've gained and continue their service to our nation by strengthening our communities. They become our nation's leaders, scientists, entrepreneurs. Veterans are the most active volunteers working to improve communities across the country. So service goes beyond the uniform. This Veterans Day, we honor the men and women who have worn the uniform, who continue to serve our country. Now, one important thing about Veterans Day, too, there are different events that are held. First, a National Veterans Day ceremony at the Arlington National Cemetery in Virginia, outside of Washington, D.C. There's a laying of a wreath by the President of the United States at the tomb of the unknown soldier. This will occur at 11 a.m. that morning. Now, you may ask, what is a tomb of the unknown soldier? Well, this is a large tomb, but it recognizes all those military people who have died in combat or are severely injured and died. And so we need to just symbolize the importance of them with this tomb. And a lot of the soldiers are maybe not identified. They were lost in battle and were never identified. There's also veterans can be honored in Washington, D.C. at the national monuments. They can attend those at reduced rates, and they're given special treatment while attending and viewing the national monuments. Now, what about the Omaha area, you might say? Well, on November 5th, we have the Veterans Program at the Memorial Park along Dodge Street, and there'll be lights shining there and programs as allowed with COVID restrictions, of course, too. November 7th, in Council Bluffs, there's a Veterans Day Parade. And November 8th and 9th, that weekend, veterans are allowed to get in free at the Durham Museum, located downtown. So they get to see the history of the Omaha area and just some special treatment for them. On November 11th, there's a Veterans Day program at the Strategic Air Command and Aerospace Museum that's located southwest of Omaha along Interstate 80. And at the Omaha Doherty Zoo, they'll be allowed to attend there and perhaps view some programs for the veterans. And various restaurants offer discount meals for veterans. So they get special treatment to recognize with a special meal and at a discount to give them some special treatment. So we think it's very important too. So I think if you have family living in other cities and states, they will have similar programs occurring. So remember, for Veterans Day 2020, thank our veterans on November 11th and every day for their service. Veterans bravely support the freedoms we all enjoy. All of us can learn from their example of service and honor. So let's honor the men and women who have worn their uniform and who continue to serve our country, the United States. And remember their families too. Let's don't forget the families. So they have been very supportive of their loved ones while their time in service, or they may have felt the pain of have their loved one injured or died in combat or something else regarding their service. So don't forget their families. And I will do the same thing. And also a fellow veteran, I will support my friends, the veterans, at this time. Thank you. Have a good day.